Woo! What is going on, baby? Welcome back. My name is D, and together we are Guiding D Light. A little driving time with D, man. It's been a minute, right? A lot has taken place since the last video. Definitely exciting, right? I said it's go time, right? And carrying this momentum up. What are we gonna do with all this momentum, right? We're just taking it. We're taking it and we're projecting it out there, and that momentum's just growing. Everybody's popping in. Up 30 some subscribers. So if you're new, thank you, welcome. I'm glad you hit that subscribe button. And yeah, so we're doing it, right? We're taking this energy, we're raising it up, and we're becoming that conduit of higher frequency, of higher benevolence to exceed throughout the core of the universe of our planet Gaia, right? So as we pick up this energy, as we coalesce it, and we produce such a powerful sacred, right? As we produce that powerful sacredness, then we're really allowing it to radiate out. And Friday night, this last Friday, today's Thursday, the 27th, right? So Friday night definitely was like a reset, a download came in. But for me, you know, I'm not gonna lie, guys, I put in a lot of work. I've done a lot of extracurricular activities to work on my energetic body, right? A lot of people work at becoming a boxer or a professional athlete, right? I've been putting all my efforts into becoming a professional energy worker. But I don't really want to put a title on it like that. I would just say a true radiant of benevolence and love, right? And that's what I've been focusing on. That's what I put a lot of my attention on, you know. And if I have free time, I'm working on pulling that life force energy through my body. I'm working on pulling that life force energy through my organs, my chakra system. You know, I'm doing the best I can to keep everything pure and open and allowing everything to be receiving and going out, like I said, being that conduit, right? So as I practice being that conduit, as I expand myself into all of that is, okay, for me on Friday, the energy was like, it was like a reset to the energetic body, if you will, to an extent. But in the same sense, it was also like a thought structure reprogramming, right? So then I was asking my higher selves, and I was having fun. I was like, okay, so if we're in a reset and everything, you know, why can't everybody go towards that peace, happiness, and love and prosperity, right? And it was like, you can't take the dumb ass out of the ass. And I thought about that. It's like, okay, it's like, well, we can reset them. We can take away those dumb thoughts, but they're still a dumb ass. So they have ass backward dumb thoughts that will coalesce and re-enter into that flow or that vortex of who they are, right? And a lot of people are like, well, you gotta surrender and you gotta reset yourself and let go of the ego. And it's like, whoa, man, time out. The ego is you. Okay, so if you squash your ego, you're just squashing yourself. Now, it is very important to tame the ego, have the ego under control, and not let the ego alter certain situations, and let that higher abundance and love and prosperity take over through the right path. But to get stuck in the ego body, it is very interesting. But in the same sense, to have a very healthy ego body, when you get around someone who's very egotistic, your ego will like stand up to theirs, and it's like a little match off, and it's very interesting. I've worked a lot on the ego body, I've worked a lot on the emotional body, I've worked a lot on the light body, and to be able to see those three bodies and how they interact with different people and different energies in different ways is very powerful, right? Because not everyone you're going to interact with is in an ego state, so you don't need to be in that ego body presence, right? Maybe they're having an emotional time. Well, if you're good with your emotional body and you come in and you're open arms and your heart's expanded and the ego's pure, or I'm sorry, the emotional body's pure, then you can see their emotional body and you can kind of, pick it up and give it a hug, dust it off a little bit, and give them a little bit more character and appreciation and a little bit more confidence into their emotional body, which will allow the emotional body to stop sitting, stand up tall, and it'll allow that progression of things to change, right? So I thought that was interesting on Friday. It's like, well, if you're resetting and this and that, it's like, are we going to really hit that path of for true abundance to everyone, right? And it was like, no, you can't, right? So you can't change anyone, right? That person has to be accepting the change. So if people want to change, they reach out to me, I help them elevate that change in that positive direction. But I can't just go out there and pick somebody and say, hey, you're going to change, right? Because nobody's going to change unless they want to change. So with that being said, you can't change anybody, but you can also, by being you can fractalize and, how did I say that the other night? You can't change anyone, but you can be a part of one's persona. So you can help alter the way one person thinks, the way they do certain things, right? And I think that's very powerful. And I also think that's a unique experience. And that's also what we're kind of here to do, right? It says we're not really going to change people, but we can influence them, right? And we can influence them through our positive actions. And our positive actions might influence them to take different alternative routes within their life, right? To kind of free up their space. So that was definitely a big one. And then another one was, so the third eye, right? Like right in here has just been tingling, right? And what I've been seeing is it's like a spiral vortex that shoots out, right? It's shooting out to you. And as it spirals and vortexes out, it's like this antenna, but instead of like going up through the ethers, it's like the antenna for your physical surroundings, right? So as this antenna approaches out of the forehead, it's got all this beautiful light swirl and codexes, but when it hits other people's fields, it's like, oh, I know this thought. It starts adjusting things. And it's gotten to the point now where it's like I look at somebody and I'm having a conversation, I'm like, I'm sitting there listening, and I feel that tingling and that sensation building up, and I'm like, yeah. And I've went back and understood it and looked. I'm actually changing that person's biorhythm while I'm healing their emotional and their energetic as well. So it's very profound. It's very uplifting to know this, but in the same sense, it's like I really don't have to do anything. All I have to do is just stare at somebody now. So I just wanted to pass that one on. I don't know if you guys have had a lot of this expansion, because my forehead's been very expansive. So look those words up if you don't know the true meaning, right? So we're going to these higher places. We're going to higher states of consciousness. But within us, if we keep our chakra systems clear, if we keep expanding, if we accept the fact of being the conduit, right? And we really embrace that we're here to live a beautiful life, to do beautiful things, but in the same sense, to bring in a beautiful new existence, a beautiful new energy. When we bring all of that into harmony and we fully propel ourselves down that direction, then we have such an amazing experience and such amazing time within our 3D life, but then so much more of that beautiful multi-dimensionality that a lot of people can't comprehend is open, and those doors, they just open. And when you have those keys and you can open those doors and you can go through, and you become the greatest teacher to thyself. And when thyself knows thyself, it really is empowering. So if you guys are not quite to that point, stick around. We're going to give you tons of information, tons of advice, straight up advice. I'm walking this path just as long as with you guys, right? So if you need help, reach out. Sessions are off the charts right now. I'm able to just boop, 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 boop. I mean, we can clear 15 years worth of doo-doo in about 35 minutes. So that's very powerful and uplifting for me and the client. And with that being said, I hope you guys are all doing great. I hope, with this Friday and this reshifting of energy and this expansiveness taking over, I hope it hasn't been too much for you. If it has, get up, move that energy, take a walk, do some jumping jacks, do something to move that energy. And as you get more comfortable moving that energy, as you get more comfortable in your expansiveness, it'll allow more expansiveness to come. And then when those higher frequencies come in like they did last night, or this morning, we hit 170. And I was just, I felt great. When it died down, I got a little tired and a little sleepy because, my body kind of wanted that extra juice, right? So had to rekilter it a little bit and just take it for what it is. But, if you really focus on being that extraordinary version of yourself, and you focus on that life force and feel it coming out of your hands and work with it. Feel it coming out of your feet and just get that toroidal field spinning and just expand into that expansiveness of the energy, as we talked about in the last video. You know, the more you do it, the easier it gets, and the faster you become at it, right? And then you got these quantum programs through your thoughts and how you roll with your energy body, and it's one thought, and you know, things start spinning, right? Instead of having to sit there and concentrate and meditate for hours on end to get things to move, it's one thought, go, right? And that's that instant manifestation capabilities of being able to harmonize thy vessel into pretty much just being a pure spirit, right? With that being said, thanks to all the new subscribers. If you haven't subscribed, definitely subscribe. Peace, love, and harmony, right? Expand. You guys, stay awesome. Be you, be true. Till next time. Peace.